Hello, I'm back at the allotment after almost 2 weeks away. We did manage to get on holiday, so thanks to everyone for the nice comments and things about that. But that meant that I haven't managed to get up here for a while because we got back, went straight back to work, had things on yesterday, so today is Sunday, Great North Run Day for any runners or any other Geordies. People from the northeast who know about that. And it is boiling hot. I think we are due a storm and hopefully it will clear the air. But I've got a lot of things to do up here. I'm going to do some general tidy, and things have really gotten away with themselves while it's been really warm and really wet. The weeds have gone mad. Got a lot of things to harvest as well. I think it might be the last bumper harvest of the season, which is quite sad, but it's been such a good one that I'm very grateful for the wonderful harvests that we've had this year so far. But it is a bit bittersweet. But yeah, let's crack on. So in here is looking pretty wild, to be honest. A lot of things are starting to go over. There's a lot of essentially just dying back plants, to be honest. I am a little bit concerned about some of the tomatoes. We have decided to kind of stop watering them a little bit, which does encourage the fruit to ripen up. So that could be why they're starting to brown a little bit and just curl up on the ends there. But I am a little bit worried that we might have the start of blight. So I am going to harvest a lot of the tomatoes today. Any of them that are almost just blushing a little bit, I'm taking them home as well. Got quite the basket full though, so not all bad. But yeah, the Christmas potatoes do have blight, which are just outside the door to the polytunnel, so I'm a little bit worried that it might have come in here. But it is the end of the season, so it could have happened a lot sooner, I suppose, so I'm thankful for that. Look at these pink blueberries. So these are a pink lemonade variety. Got this from Beverages last year, or possibly the year before, to be honest, and have never had any blueberries off it until now. They are absolutely beautiful. The taste is somewhat like bubblegum. It tastes nothing like a normal blueberry. It's not sour or anything. Absolutely delicious. So to be honest, I'm going to do a little bit of gardening reality, and the allotment is really not looking its best right now. I mean, there's a lot of tidying that needs to be done. There's a lot of weeding that needs to be done. The nasturtiums have went crazy. The only reason I'm leaving them in is because it's near the end of the season and they're just adding a nice bit of colour to the plot, really. It's looking wild. And that is actually okay. Now, don't get me wrong, this self-seeded bed of nasturtiums behind me is absolutely prolific. It has grown crazy. I can't actually even remember what was in this bed before they took over, but we're just gonna leave them. We will come up here and give everything a really good tidy. We'll mulch, we'll redo the paths and clear the beds, weed, all of that sort of stuff. But sometimes of year, this is just how the allotment looks. And I know often online, like, I'm so guilty of it myself, just sharing the good bits of the allotment and the tidy bits and the pretty bits, but this is actually how it looks sometimes. These pots are out because we're busy clearing the behind the polytunnel. That's where we're going to keep them all. We're going to put a liner down on the floor and wood chips on top and sort of organise them nicely. That hasn't been done yet. They've been sat there for a good few weeks now. But yeah, it's actually okay that sometimes it gets like this, and this is just the reality of having an allotment sometimes. I have done a very quick weed. Let's just let this, there we go. I have done a very quick weed of these beds because it was getting a bit out of hand. So these are the cauliflowers, have the scarlet kale here, which isn't looking very good, to be honest. I think it might have a white fly, just from judging what happens when you brush against them. So I have pulled a few out that looked particularly bad. but we'll see how the rest of them get on. Hopefully we might get some harvests off this over the winter, but we'll see how they go. We have our cabbage in here, which has in part been obliterated by slugs, caterpillars and things, but they seem to be doing okay. We'll see how these go as well. I have also tried to weed this bed, just sort of keep on top of it a little bit. I mean, obviously I haven't done a very good job, but we'll do a thorough job of it in a few weeks' time. The cosmos are looking absolutely beautiful. Absolutely love these. I think I'm gonna cut some and take them home, put them in a little vase. The plant is massive. This is one cosmos, and I remember saying months ago, that I had a lot of foliage, and that I really hoped that I didn't just have loads of foliage and not very many flowers, and that is not what has happened at all. There's still buds. I know cosmos flower really late on into the year sometimes like November and things. We've had cosmos flowering, which is nice, but they are just absolutely beautiful. Now, I have literally just today picked the rest of the plums off the damson variety, and they were not quite ready before I went away, and my friend was coming up and had the reins of the allotment while I was gone, and well, they're still not ready. They're quite firm still. I did eat one and it was absolutely delicious, so I have picked a load of them, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with them yet, so that might be good, because if they're still not quite ripe, I have a little bit of time on the decision making. Probably going to make a crumble, to be honest, and freeze some crumbles as well. But it's quite a decent harvest we've got. I'll show you. I do apologise because I've lost my tripod, so I'm going to order another one, but for now we're just going to work with what we've got. But I found this hiding at the very other end of the plot, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it might be a courgette of some kind, and maybe a pumpkin, but it's actually bigger than my head. So it's probably not very edible at this point. I'd imagine it's gone a bit woody, because I think this isn't the size that it's supposed to be. But I might keep it and carve it for Halloween or something. I'll see how it goes, because they do store really well, which is good. And got another one here as well, so that's 2 surprise squash, since I thought the squash hadn't done very well this year, but pleasantly surprised today. Here are the oyster mushrooms that I was excited about a few weeks ago. This is actually the second flush that we've had off them. I did come up here and harvest some before we went on holiday, which I do have a little snippet video from, which I'll try to remember to include round about here. But yeah, this is the second flush that we've got off these, so sometimes they can flush again, grow again. These are a specific cool weather variety, which might be why we're having a bit of success with them, despite the fact that it's so warm and muggy recently. But they seem to be pretty happy where they are. They're growing quite nicely. Got some really lovely little mushroom pins growing on there, so should get another decent harvest off these soon. So here are the Honey Plus cucumbers, and I thought they might have been done, but I was so wrong. These have been absolutely prolific this year. Obviously it's went a bit rogue here and isn't quite climbing over the top bar anymore, but it is still massive. And let me just count how many cucumbers there are actually on here. I have just given one to my allotment neighbour in exchange for some apples, which is really nice. But yeah, let's count how many's on here. Okay, so there are 9 cucumbers on here, and they've grown in specifically 12 days. It shouldn't have been that hard to work that out. Yeah, in 12 days 9 of these have grown, and they have grown quite the size as well. I have no idea what to do with them at this point. I've got some of them whole frozen in the freezer at home, so I will harvest these 9, and this is the first time I've probably ever said this. I really do hope that is it for these now. I'm not going to pull the plant out, but I think that probably should be it. But when I say we've maybe harvested 50 cucumbers off here, off one plant. That is not an exaggeration. It's been amazing. Considering we've had little success with cucumbers before, this year's been fab for cucumbers, for Honey Plus, the gherkins and the crystal apple ones as well. So yeah, it's been the year of the cucumber. Just while I'm in this area of the polytunnel as well, I haven't done a melon update. So I did harvest the 2 melons before we went on holiday, and I left them in the kitchen to ripen, or hopefully ripen, while we were away, because I wasn't quite sure if they were ripe yet or not, and I really wanted to cut into them, but I thought if I just leave them, then maybe they will definitely be ripe by the time we get back. Anyways, I did cut them yesterday when we got back off a bike ride, and I'll share the video. I will remember to share the video here. It'll be now. Let's find out. The other one that I harvested before I went on holiday, that one was delicious and ripe, and I put a video of that on Instagram, but I forgot to like do it YouTube style. So here we go. Ooh. Yes. Oh my word, it smells so good, and it's certainly ripe. So happy days. 2 melons successfully grown this year in the northeast of England, so that is quite an achievement. So yes, I was very, very happy about that, and about the fact that I managed to grow ripe melons in Newcastle. It's a first. It's definitely a first. I'm really, really putting it down to the polytunnel, to be honest. First year we've had a polytunnel like this. We have had a smaller polytunnel and a greenhouse before, but I think maybe this has just managed to sort of keep the heat in here a little bit better. I think we've been a little bit more on top of sort of ventilation, watering and things this year as well. So it could be that, or it could just be that the weather's been on our side this year and things. It is a little bit strange to manage to grow a melon in Newcastle. It might be a little bit concerning, but I'm pleased that we've managed to do it. A lot of the seedlings are coming on quite nicely as well. This is some of the lettuce. This will need to go out pretty soon, and some other varieties of winter salad there as well. This is some of the spinach that I just direct sowed in here, and still got the dill and the Thai basil there as well. The spring onions here are doing okay, and the purple basil as well. I'm going to pick some of the spinach to take that home for lunch for work tomorrow. I will be pulling all of the dill out pretty soon. A lot of it has started to go to flower, so I did do a big clear out of this today. I'm going to take some home and maybe dry some. I think I might dehydrate it and then essentially just keep it in the cupboard for as long as I need. It smells amazing, so as soon as I do pull this out, I will be direct sowing some more dill in here for over the autumn as well. So this sorry looking site is our Christmas potatoes. They had blight, so they got cut back to this point, and I'm about to harvest the last 2 buckets of them. I think there was 2 sweet potatoes in each. So let's see what we get from 1 bucket. Not so bad, it looks. Let's get this ripped into and see how many we've really got. So not too bad. Not too bad at all, to be honest. Some very kind of small little diddly ones. But also some quite decent sized ones as well. This is about 20 from 1 bucket, which is quite good. So I'll harvest the other one as well, and then hopefully they'll store okay just in paper bags. They've only been harvested about a month early due to just having a bit of a risk of blight. But yeah, these are a Charlotte variety, and I won't clean them or anything. I'll just store them as they are with the soil on, and quite pleased with these actually. They were just grown in these 14-litre B&Q buckets that were £1. We've reused them pretty much every year for various things, so I'm classing that as a win despite the blight. Normally I would be inclined to reuse any potato soil that we've had, and just sort of add a bit of manure or a bit of plant food to it and then put it back into a bed, or literally just reuse it. But because we think they might have had blight, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm actually going to take this bucket home with me and get rid of it off the allotment. I think it might have just started thundering and lightning. And on that note, it has just started lashing it down. So I'm going to grab my stuff and go home. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, do the things, and I'll hopefully see you very, very soon.